3, 2, 1.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Ash on Comics. I'm Ash, and look at this cover. Lionel Francis. I don't understand why people like Lionel Francis Yu so much. This is Heroes Reborn #1. Whatever happened to Earth's mightiest heroes? Well, if you think you're going to find out in this issue, guess again. This is by Jason Aaron and Ed McGuinness. Not really normally a fan of Ed McGuinness, but this book is all right. I'm really not a fan of Jason Aaron. Holy shit, the last thing I read of his was Phoenix. I didn't read the whole thing, but I read the first 3 or 4 issues of the Phoenix tournament. Whew, boy. So here we have Heroes Reborn, the most unanticipated event since the last Marvel event. What was that, Empire? They just keep chalking up. No one really cares about this. Jason Aaron is a derivative writer. I honestly do think the guy has some talent. I think he's got understanding of making exciting stories. I think the one thing I can't say he's guilty of is just being boring. And I know some people are going to argue with me on that and say, but Ash, you just said the Phoenix story. And that was boring. But it was only boring not because he was boring. It's just because he didn't know how to execute a story. So it just kept falling on its face. And then you became bored watching that happen. What I mean by that is I think, in modern comics, we have a lot of stories where characters are standing around talking. Look, you got the new X-Men Gala book that's coming out. What's it going to be? Look, it's a gala. It's a fancy party where everyone comes dressed in fancy clothes, and that's exciting. No, Jason Aaron doesn't do shit like that, right? You saw what Jonathan Hickman was doing over... One of the reasons I quit X-Men is because we were getting stories of, like, old lady botanists and then a dinner party of international diplomats. Just dumb stuff. Like, at least Jason Aaron doesn't think like that. And this book, you'll see. I mean, right on the page 3, boom, Doctor Doom is getting the gem of Sidrak and becoming Juggernaut. He's not great at executing, but at least he's thinking like a comic book writer. He's thinking like a comic book fan. They're big, explosive things. This book starts off really weird because you see this kid riding a bike. You identify him as Robbie Reyes. You don't know who's talking in the dialogue boxes, so you just kind of assume it's Robbie Reyes thinking, and then you realize by the time you finish the page that it was, wait, was that Blade talking? Oh shit, I gotta go back and reread this. In Blade's voice, Blade is talking while Robbie, okay. So Blade confronts him. He's looking for a Ghost Rider. We get 2 whole pages of Blade thinking and talking about the world's not right, but only he can sense it. Robbie Reyes races off to school on his bike. He's doesn't know what Ghost Rider is because the world's all different. So 2 pages wasted. Then we get Doctor Doom assaulting the White House. And he turns into Dr. Juggernaut. Which, really? Look, I'm trying to be positive about Jason Aaron. The dude's just not a good writer. He's got some talent, like I said. You can have some talent. He needs a good editor to shape that talent. Several problems here. Number 1, Dr. Doom's not a moron. Why are you writing him like a moron? Number 2, why is Doctor Doom's armor growing with him as he becomes Juggernaut? And like, it would have made more sense if Doctor Doom would have designed his armor like this first in anticipation of having the... I don't know. But then he gets in a fight with Hyperion, and Doom's just essentially rendered useless. Doctor Doom without the Gem of Sidorak has done things like beat Thanos, who had the Infinity Gauntlet. He's beaten the Beyonder. Did he beat Phoenix? He's pretty much the deadliest person in the Marvel Universe. With the Gem of Sidorak, I'm not sure that even Hyperion is going to really be able to stand toe-to-toe with him. But of course he does. We get a stupid scene like this. Look at this. So Doom's grabbing him around the throat. Not with the crimson rage of the gods in my fists. All your vaunted intellect, yet after all these years, you're still very blind. Now take a look at what happens. He's flexing his neck muscles. Ah! Impossible! You flexed the super muscles in your neck and broke my... Anyone who wants to tell me that Jason Aaron's a great writer, just read this in. Just take a moment. Your iron-faced fascism will never be stronger than the hunger for pure old-fashioned liberty. Groan. Anyways, so here we get the Batman clone. Because, the Squadron Supreme is essentially the Justice League. So this is Batman, but he's black. Smartest person in the world because, of course, he's fighting the venomized Red Skull. So here's a big trope of Jason Aaron that I'm really super tired of, is he constantly takes existing things and just mashes them together. Oh, well, what if we did, took the villains and then mashed them up with other villains? What if we did a tournament to see who could be the Phoenix? What if we could... It's just the same nonsense over and over and over. Sure, if you've never seen it before, it's going to amaze you, but eventually you're going to get tired of it once you catch on. He just writes what-if stories. He just comes up, what if this would happen? And that's what this is about. What if there was no Avengers and it was just the Squadron Supreme? And then their villains were all the villains that we know, but they were mashed. Like we get Venom Red Skull, and we get Dr. Juggernaut. Oh, it's so creative, Aaron. That's amazing. So here we have the Green Lantern wannabe flying off doing stuff. Carol Danvers is an insubordinate Air Force pilot, never got powers. That's kind of funny because I hate Carol Danvers, so seeing her be a failure. And the big problem is Captain America was never found, so there was never any Avengers. Oh, look, here we get Scarlet Witch. Never became good because there was no Avengers, so her brother dies, so she absorbed his powers, so now she's the Silver Witch. Get it? Because Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch... I don't... They would have never had the name whatever. So she's a speedster witch. Okay. And then we get the unstoppable Algog, who's responsible for killing the final All-Father destroyer of Asgard. The unstoppable Algog. Except not when you fight the power of Woman. So the Wonder Woman knockoff, of course, just talks smack at him because everyone in a Jason Aaron comic just talks smack all the time. But hey, look, there's Thanos. And he's got the Infinity Gauntlet. Game over. Except this is Jason Aaron comic, so Thanos with an Infinity Gauntlet just doesn't actually even matter. In the old days, we had a whole gigantic, massive event that, please God, Thanos can't get the gems. And we build all up to it, and he has it for a moment, then we have to fight. It takes every Marvel hero and every Marvel villain, everyone in the Marvel universe to try to get together to stop him. Nowadays, it's just, hey, look, there's Thanos, got an Infinity Gauntlet, okay, whatever. See the power escalation? Essentially, at this point, Squadron Supreme doesn't matter. the Doom, whatever Doctor Doom's evil team is, doesn't matter. Why is this Dr. Spectrum guy even putting up a fight? I don't know. Here we get Thor from the MCU just wallowing in self-pity because he never had his hammer. Blade tries to talk some sense into him, but he's just a little bitch. So he's, leave me alone. I'm going to sit here and drink. Because Jason Aaron saw Avengers Endgame, so that's how he writes. The modern writers, they don't write based on their understanding of comics. They just... So, yeah. Thanks. Jason Aaron is an expert on ruining Thor. Let's just say that. So, I'm convinced that he hates the character. And then we get Blade standing off with Batman wannabe. And they're fighting ninja guys for some reason. They're talking smack at each other because that's what two black dudes do. And they're talking about killing each other, but I don't have time. I'm trying to save the world. I can't have time. Oh yeah, well I'm trying to save the world too. Oh, okay, so that goes on and it keeps going on, and then we go over back to Dr. Juggernaut fighting Hyperion, and nothing's really happening. This is another problem that I have in modern comics. Modern comics writers, they don't have necessarily action. They write implied action. So look. We're just seeing poses, standing off against each other. Okay, some blast comes from his face, and that's it. And when you get Coulson is president, and then here, more implied action. We see like action shots, but we don't ever get to see like how the fight goes down. So modern writers don't think of action like stories. They don't think of an action sequence is a story in itself, the story of the combat. Because that's what stories are, conflict and resolution. A fight is a conflict that ultimately has a resolution. This is why pro wrestling is so popular, even if it's fake. Because you can easily set up conflict and resolution, and people like to see that. Comics are kind of that way, except, look, just seeing pose, these are pinup shots. They're just, oh, look, people are fighting, yay, but we don't actually see the fight. Thor gets really mad, slams down his mead horn, and it turns into Mjolnir for some reason. Don't know. Blade's off in Antarctica. Wait, no, he's in the Arctic. Not Antarctica. And look, he found Cap. Avengers assemble, he says. To be continued. That's Heroes Reborn. Aren't you excited? Wasn't that amazing? Don't you just want to buy all of these books that you know don't matter? Because this is just a giant what-if story. If you like what-if stories, and hey, who doesn't? What-if stories are kind of cool. Maybe you're curious, buy it. Don't expect much. I'm not going to be too harsh on this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give this 3 stars. And then being generous, but here's why. The art, it's pretty good. The idea is somewhat interesting, and that's something that comics should do. I try to think of myself as a youth, as a kid, or being a young adult picking up this book. It would have excited me just with the ideas. The Avengers are missing. Well, not missing. They never were. There's one character that's trying to piece together what's going on. Meanwhile, you're getting to see these smashed up characters. And even though I'm kind of making fun of it, it's more because of the execution. But this wasn't a pain to read. It makes me groan because, you know what? Nah, 2 stars. That was being generous. I can't go the 2.5. It's close. If you just want to turn your brain off and you're like, Ash, I don't care that much. I just want to see cool art and whatever, 3 stars. If you care about comics mattering, if you care about characterization and not having characters act stupid and out of character, then 2 stars. That's what I'm going to do. I was being too generous. I'm trying to be nice. I'm a big salty bastard. But I got to be fair. So Heroes Reborn. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you thought. I'll see you next time.